so once you're logged in then, the first thing you need to do is you need to go to classroom.google.com, okay, and you'll see this screen, and you've seen that before, probably most of you, and you need to join your first class by pressing the big plus button up here, okay, in the top right corner there. When you do that, okay, very simply, you need to enter the class code in order to join. Okay, because I'm recording this on YouTube, I'm not going to do that just yet because I don't want a bunch of creepy people watching this on YouTube. Not that many people watch it. Okay, joining. So we need to enter our code there. Okay, so we'll do that real quick. Okay, and once we've joined, right, then we see that screen. Right, I put in my own pictures because I think the other ones are boring. Okay, class doesn't have any posts yet. That's not good. Yeah, there should be all that in there. I don't know why it's not showing up on mine. Weird. Anyway, okay, so at least it's showing up on your guys'. For some reason, not showing up on mine. But okay. Okay, so if you click on the About tab, you'll see a couple of other things over in here. Okay, the room is obviously St. Catharines. There's a Google Drive folder there. Okay, you got the link to the podcast, link to the website, and to the notes package and all of that good stuff. Okay, there we go. Now it's all showing up. Okay, so we're seeing that our first assignment is in there using Google Classroom, which is the thing we're going to do here momentarily. Okay, just to sort of refresh in your memory how you complete an assignment and then submit it to me. Okay, and you'll see also that there's going to be an announcement each and every day, okay, for essentially what we did. All right, so yesterday's stuff is in there. We had the atomic theory questions that we went over in class. Okay, you guys did and we completed, and this was the lecture, okay, that went along with that. And if you look at the day before, okay, you can see that there's the notes package, okay, and then there's the 2 podcasts, okay, from that first day as well as your course syllabus and all of that. So that's how it'll work. Every day I'll put in the podcasts for what we did, okay, or the podcasts of that day, and then you know, a link to worksheets or, you know, stuff like that that we need. Okay, if we do a lab or other assignment on that particular day, okay, then it'll look like this instead, okay, and it'll have the assignment in there. It'll also usually have the podcast of me explaining how to do the assignment in there. If it's a lab, it'll have the lab data. I mean, you'll have your own, but in case you weren't here or your lab data doesn't work out or you lose it, okay, you'll have a link to the proper lab data, and all of that will be in there, and it'll look the same as this. Okay, it'll just be linked in. All right, so if we want to complete our assignments here, okay, it's pretty straightforward. All right, we just click on Open. Okay. Okay, and there we go. So this is my work, and you'll see that it has your name on it instead of mine. All right, and so when you submit it, obviously it comes in with your name on it. Now, when we do labs, okay, in the majority of the assignments and things like that, I will already have a template built for you. All right, so every time you get one of these, there'll be already a template file there that you're going to fill in. All right, so our first lab will be the Properties of Compounds lab. So you'll see this, it'll show up and it'll say Properties of Compounds lab, student Coder, all right, or whatever your name is, okay, and it'll be on there. You'll fill in your lab report on that template. Okay, the good news is, having the template there saves you a bit of work because I'll have already filled in all the drudgery. Okay, like problem, and then I'll just leave it blank, and hypothesis, and I'll leave it blank, and you just have to fill in, okay, the other stuff. So it'll always be the right format, and you won't. That way you won't forget, hopefully, to do part of the lab report because it'll all kind of be there. Everybody follow me on that? Okay, so it saves you a bit of time in that the template will already be built. All right, so we want to complete the assignment. Okay, we click on it. And it opens up in Google Docs, which is nice because it doesn't matter what platform you run at home. Okay, you can open it on a Mac, you can open it on PC. Okay, you got the questions, so you got to fill them in. It's a good way to review all that stuff I told you the first day that you probably already forgot. So you might need your syllabus to answer some of these questions. Okay, from the first day. So I'll give you a few minutes to fill that in. When you're done, you click turn in there at the top. Okay, and that'll turn it into me. If you're at home and you're doing one of these assignments and you don't see the turn in button, it's because you're not in Chrome. Okay, that seems to be the one problem people encountered most often. Mr. Coder, I can't turn it in. I don't see the turn in button. In the end, if you don't turn it in, I can still see it. Okay, I can still look at it if I want to, but it's nice to have it actually turned in. Just make sure that if that happens to you, that you check and make sure you're in Chrome, because otherwise it just doesn't work for whatever reason. Okay, so I'll give you a few minutes. Answer those questions. When you're done, turn it in. I'll know when everyone's turned it in because it shows me on my computer how many are done. Okay, and then we'll go over it real quick. Okay, and after that, guys, the other thing we'll want to do is make sure that your school email is set up on your phone. That way you'll get any messages that you need, okay, from me through Google Classroom emailed to you, and it'll come up on your phone. Okay, I'm not going to be pestering you like 10 times a day. It's not at all like that. It'll be like, hey, here's some the lab data is wrong. Here's some lab data, or or something like that. Okay, it's not going to be much. Okay, so while you're completing that, guys, obviously you just type the stuff in the blanks just like you would on one of the templates I'll give you later. Okay, when you are done, okay, you just click turn in. Okay, and about 5 or 6 of you have already done that. Okay, it asks you if you're sure you want to do that. Okay, one attachment, okay, is going to be included. Okay, you click turn in, it turns it in. If after you turn it in, you suddenly have like buyer's remorse, okay, in that, oh, I forgot to do something, okay, you can unsubmit it, right? You can do that. It is possible to unsubmit something by clicking unsubmit. Okay. Now, I know how many times you submit and unsubmit, not that that bothers me terribly. Okay, I don't usually look for it. Just be aware of something. If you submit it and then the due date goes by, okay, you unsubmit and then resubmit, it's tagged as late, okay, because you did work on it after the due date time. Okay, so you can unsubmit it and resubmit it as many times as you want, as long as you don't do it after the time it's due. Okay, so just kind of be aware of that. All right. So once it's done, okay, then it shows up on my computer as being done. Right, and I can check who's done, who's not done. Okay, all that kind of stuff. So once in a while, I might, if I see you walking in the door, but I see that yours isn't done, I might go, hey, did you forget to turn it in? And oh yeah, I did. Okay, it's not a big deal. Right, we can get it all done. All right, so that kind of thing. Okay, and obviously the really good thing about Google, guys, is that you can never lose more than a few minutes worth of work. Okay, it saves it automatically, like every 5 seconds, really. Okay, so if something happens, power goes out or whatever, you really can't lose much work. And I've had people come in and they've submitted something and it was blank. And like, no, Mr. Coder, I swear I had it all done. I swear I had it all done. It's just some little glitch where it makes an extra copy, and we can always find that. So there's really never been a serious problem with us losing work or anything like that. Okay, with Google Classroom, it's worked really, really well thus far. Okay, so it has relieved a lot of stress for people. Okay, here's the other nice thing. It's a nice thing for me. Okay, from my end of it, just so you're aware that this is possible. I can view what's called your revision history. That is, I can see all the changes you've made to your file at any point in your working on it. That means I'll know if you copied it from somebody. Okay, and I've caught a few people by doing that. I go back in the revision history, there's nothing, and suddenly it's all done in 1 second. Okay, yeah. Kind of suspicious. Nobody types that fast. All right, so just be aware. I can go back and check and see what you've done. Okay. In fact, I watched one guy. I can actually watch your work. I don't normally do that because that's really creepy. Okay. But I had one kid that I had overheard him saying he was going to be copying somebody else's by typing it all out. So he went away and I opened up his file and watched him work, and then I sent a message to him while he was working that shows up in the little chat bar that says, I see what you're doing and I don't like it. Okay, so yeah, it's really great for like supervising and catching cheating and all that kind of stuff. So just be aware we can watch all of that stuff. That's really creepy, but we can. Okay, all right. How are we doing here? Are we almost all done? It's not really a big deal, guys. I'm not actually going to mark it, so I'm just gonna like, you know, basically say everybody gets like 7 out of 7 or something like that, and we'll move on from there. So if I can just have everybody in the next 2 minutes just submit that, we'll call it good. Now, once in a while, something like this will happen in that I had the assignment it defaults to out of 100 and I forgot to change it to out of 7. If I make a change, you'll get this little notification on here that says this post has been updated, and if you click refresh, okay, I don't even know that you'll actually see it, but okay, I changed the point value. The only time you would actually get an email about that is if I'd already graded yours and gave you 7 out of 100 by accident. Okay, and then it would send you an email saying, you know, Mr. Coder has changed the point value. Your new grade is 7 out of 7 as opposed to 7 out of 100. Okay, so that's the only time that that would happen. Okay, so they're all done now. All right, so I'll quickly mark them, and then actually what we'll do first is set up your mail account so that you can see what happens with that. Okay, so if you want to add Gmail, okay, to your iOS, okay, this is how you do it. You're actually going to set it up as an exchange. It works better that way, okay, as opposed to setting it up as Gmail. I mean, if you have the Gmail app on your iPhone, you can set it up through there too, and it'll probably work just fine. Okay, we just find that this way it actually comes through the iPhone's mail app, and it gives you the notifications and all that stuff. Okay, so basically you go in there and you click Add Account. Okay, and the trick is that you choose Microsoft Exchange at the prompt. So you put in your email. Okay, so your first name, last name at isidore.redeemer.ab.ca. Okay, the server will be m.google.com. Okay, you can leave the domain blank. Okay, you put in your username. It's the same thing as the email address was. All right, you put in your password, and then whatever description is going to make sense to you. Okay, if you want to put it as school email or whatever's going to make sense to you when you're looking at it. Okay, everybody with me so far there? The server is this, is m.google.com. The username is your email again. So first name, last name at redeemer.ab.ca. And it's your same password that you use to log into the computers and all that. Okay, by the way, all the comments you put in the stream, please don't. Okay, here's the reason. I get an email every time you do it. Yeah, and it's really annoying. Really annoying. Okay, so please don't do it. Leave the stream for me. Okay, if you got a question or something like that, email me about it. But yeah, the stream is not a chat room. I know it can work like that, but let's not use it that way, because I do not want to have, I already have 8 emails, please. Okay, yeah, let's not do that. Okay, so once you do that, okay, you should be set. Okay, it should work from there, and anytime something happens, okay, in the classroom, like somebody puts something in the stream, you'll get an email. That's why we don't want to do it, okay? Because it's really, 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 really annoying, okay? But what you will get now is you'll get an email when I've marked your assignment, okay? Because I'll return it and it'll say, Mr. Coderre has returned your assignment. Click here to view, and you can do all that, okay? We'll show you that here in just a second. If you have an Android device, the setup is just a little bit different, okay? It actually is supposed to work a little bit easier because Android and Google get along better, okay? So you go into your Gmail on your Android phone or tablet, so into the actual app, and then you add an account, okay, and there's the instructions for it. All right, so it's quite a bit less labor intensive. All right, so once they've been marked, okay, you'll see this here. You'll see the thing that says returned, right? And that says that you can open it, right? And see the grade. Okay, so when you do that, actually for some reason it's not showing the grade here, but oh yeah, right here. Okay, sorry. They've changed the layout from last year. It was in a different spot. Okay, so there you see that the grade's 7 out of 7. Okay, and you can always open it. Sometimes, guys, especially early on when we're first, kind of learning how to do the lab reports and stuff, I'll type comments into your lab and your reports and stuff like that, so that you kind of know, okay, there's where I went wrong. I need to fix that for next time. So it's always a good idea to open it back up. There'll also be on all of the templates a marking scheme at the bottom. Okay, and in there I'll show you, you got 3 out of 5 on your hypothesis, 4 out of 4 on your conclusion, or whatever. Okay, so you'll know where you got your marks and where you lost them. So it's always a good idea to open it up after it's been marked. Okay, now you should have also gotten an email to the effect of that it was returned and marked, but it didn't come through for me yet. Okay, but usually it does. Okay, so we've got kind of all of those options kind of set up in there. Okay, is that making sense, everybody? Okay, now here's the other thing. If Google Classroom ever, for some reason, goes down, and it did once last year, okay, it went down and people were like, well, how am I going to get my assignment done? Where are all your assignments stored? In your Google Drive. Okay, all you have to do is go to your Google Drive. Okay, you can open them up. They'll be in a folder called Classroom. Okay, all of your files will be there, and you can work on them that way. All right, just because Classroom's not working doesn't mean that you can't still find your stuff, get your work done, and get it in. If Google Classroom's not working, you might not be able to submit it. But in the end, if you have it done, I can mark it either way. Okay, so don't ever panic if you find that Classroom's not working. You can always access your stuff through your Google Drive. Okay? All right, questions on any of that and how that works? Okay. Let's have everybody shut those down. You shut them down by not closing the lid. Okay? You shut them down by clicking on the little battery at the bottom. Okay, in the bottom right-hand corner, click on that, and then the power sign there. Click on that, let them turn off. Then you can close the lid. Now, before you bring them back up here, you need to be aware of the system. Okay? There's little taped rectangles on here because we had people who couldn't return things in a neat and orderly fashion. Okay? Make sure the Chromebooks go in the taped rectangles in this fashion. There's also chords written on all the taped squares. The opening for the cord is this little round hole here next to the HDMI input. Okay? Make sure that that is aligned with the word chords. And that way they're way easier to plug in when you have to plug in 30 of them. Okay? On the top shelf, stacks of 3. Middle shelf, stacks of 4. Bottom shelf, stacks of 3. Okay? Everybody with me there? All right. Let's have them back.